Morning, everyone. Jordan Meyer here from Wholesome Family Farms. Talking about some cattle again here today. Just moved these guys into some more stockpiled cover crops and corn stalks and stuff. Wanted to show you guys this water that I brought out here and how much water they actually drank of it and stuff, and just goes to show you how their water requirements go way down when you have plenty of snow to have the cows graze through and get their feed out of and stuff. And let me show you this tank here. Here's the water tank. I put 60 gallons in there, and that's a 70 or 80 gallon tank, I think it is. A couple of the grass finishing steers just came up and drank out of it that I had recently put in here, and they were getting hay before this, so that kind of makes sense why they would be the ones to come get a drink, because they were eating hay before this. We hauled a couple of them away, and this next group of finishers won't be getting butchered until probably about June. So for the ease of taking care of animals and critters, we figured we might as well go ahead and put them steers with cows here at the home farm. So yeah, the cattle are still doing great, really good. And yeah, you can see that they clearly, just a couple of them are in the stalks here. That strip starting from there down is the cover crop field that was left from the stockers. The finishing steers this August was the last time we were in there with them. Yeah, we only went over that cover crop field one time with them stockers, and yeah, this is how much they eat of it. Right now they just take every last bit of it. It seems like even the radishes that are all headed out and bolted, I see a lot of them, they're taking off. But the sorghum Sudan grass, as dead and brown as it is, they still gobble her up here. One deer grazing in February like this works really good. And then, like, you see that cow right there, that's where she's getting her water, by digging deep in the snow like that. I don't know if she found some kind of a tasty green or broadleaf under there, or what she got. Oh, looks like it might have been some orchard grass or something in that nature. But yeah, that's going really good for us here, and we're kind of preparing for the cold snap of weather we're going to be having here, though. It's going to be going down below zero every single night for, I think, the entire upcoming week. And it's Thursday today. Supposed to get to a high of 36 with some snow and freezing rain and all that good stuff. And then it's gonna drop and only be a high of, I think, maybe 10 or 13 degrees or something like that, I thought I seen, for tomorrow on Friday. But the wind chill is gonna be 15 below zero. So that'll be fun. But like I said in them other videos before, we're fortunate enough to have these steep hills here and side hills, and the cows are able to get tucked way down into these pockets right next to the woods, and it's just nice and calm. And that's their natural buildings, and they do excellent. This morning when I opened the poly wire up for them, they hardly even wanted to move. They were all content, and they just bed down right next to the woods in there and stuff. So works really good. But yeah, I figured I'd show you guys that water there and show you how they just plain old don't drink water anymore. That's a thing of the past. So if you ever are able to build up a lot of stockpiled forage and you got places on your farm that you can't get water to, and you have 6+ inches of snow, I think it's important to have at least 6 inches of snow out there. Otherwise they'll get too much forage above the snow, and then they don't eat enough snow with every bite. And then it seems like once you hit that 6-inch mark, though, it works out really good. Then they have plenty of water for everything. So, but the cows are, man, I even think they put on weight out here, to be honest with you. It's just crazy. Once they figured out what to do, they just went to town. Like, look at her. She's got tons of body condition on her. Just look at that. You don't like to say the word fat, but she is packing it on. She's plenty fat. There's no problems out here. The cows are very, very content and they're doing excellent. Nothing cruel about this when you're keeping them nice and clean and fresh and moving to a new spot. It's just nothing but healthy for the animals to be out moving around. I think God put the rear end of everybody on them for a reason, and they call it the rear end, so once you take a dump you can walk away from it. But yeah, laying in their own manure and urine and stuff like that all the time, that's just asking for nothing but troubles. And then I'm actually gonna be starting to bale graze here after we get this paddock done. The line wrap bales that I have, the silage bales, they're starting to mold on them for some reason. On the bottom side, I open it up and there's mold all on the bottom side. I don't know if I got the bales baled too wet and the hay in there was a little bit overripe and it just didn't ferment perfectly, or what the deal was, or if it got holes in it. I have no idea, but I figured now would be a good time to just start feeding it and get it caught up and maybe see if hopefully the whole row isn't like that. I have 75 bales that are like that, and I'm guessing that these girls here will probably go close to a bale a day is what they'll eat. Probably not quite that much. There's 23 head here right now, but it's nice having the feed where the cows are. Otherwise, since I don't have water here though, that's another question. I have to either haul it out here or whatever if I'm going to start bale grazing, because I'm assuming that they're going to start drinking a lot more water once we're not grazing through the snow anymore. So that'll be a learning curve for me. I know that. It'd be nice if they could eat the snow, but we'll see what happens in that scenario. So I ended up taking some of them bales that were getting moldy and I set them on the hill up there, scattered them around, and then once these guys are done grazing this, they'll go over to there and I'll cut them off with polywire and allow them one bale at a time and go from there. But usually them silage bales isn't much waste of them at all either and stuff, so should work out pretty good. There's one grass finisher. He'll be getting finished here in June, or at least that's when you have the date for it. That's the whole thing about it too. They're tough to find butchering dates for all these guys. But yeah, that ground over there that I set the bales on, that's already been grazed off, so I know it was a good time to put that in there. But yeah, we gave the cows the rest of this paddock here. Man, they got probably 2 acres here. I should leave them here for 2 days, but I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. Should have cut it off and divided it in two, but with the cold weather coming, I was just going to get them back to that other pocket over there. But they have really good cover here too, though. But that's adaptive grazing. We'll see what happens, I guess. Go from there, see what they tell me. I know one thing's for sure: if you're not keeping them content and happy and full and out of the wind and protection, they'll let you know. Me especially, because that's all the time. Sorry about that, folks. Here we are 2 days later. What is it, February 5th or 6th? And I came out to the cows here again after going on that big paddock there. The camera died on me. But, well, I'm happy to see the cows are here. What is the temperature right now? It's afternoon already. I had a haul steer this morning, so I didn't even get a chance to come out and move the cows yet this morning. So it's 9 degrees out, and the wind is probably about 20-mile-an-hour winds and stuff, and we're below zero on the wind chill for sure. And tonight it's gonna get down to, oh, I would imagine it's gonna be below zero tonight. I think I'd have to look at the forecast again, but the wind chill will definitely be down to 15 to 20 below zero tonight. So we got some bales set out there. I don't know if I told you about that. The bales are set out over there. I got to put some polywire around them yet, and then allow the cows to have access to just one of them at a time and stuff. But the cows are down there grazing yet. They're still here. I was kind of worried they would have busted through my one wire polywire. That just goes to show you that they're satisfied. If one little polywire can hold them in this weather, they're not hurting. So let's go down and check them out. Just to give you some perspective, it's this windy up here. Now let's go down by the cows and see what it's like down there. Now here we are down where the cows are. Windy up there, nice and calm down here. If you provide the wind blocks for them and everything, they'll be just fine. They crawl down in here underneath all this brush and they do pretty good. Hey there, girl. That's one of our grass finishing steers right there that's doing the bellering. They were getting spoiled with really high quality hay before we put them in here, but we hauled a couple of them away and we only had 3 left, so it was just a lot easier for us to put them with this group. So that's what we did. But I'm gonna go over and allow these guys to have access to a round bale now. I don't know if I told you there earlier, the day before my phone died there, the round bales were starting to get moldy and stuff, so no better time to start feeding hay than now if you have moldy bales starting to get worse and worse on you. So we're gonna start feeding them a little bit, and then maybe once we get to closer to spring thaw and stuff, then we'll start grazing the stalks and stuff again and spread these guys out so we don't pug the ground and end up with a muddy mess. But I don't expect mud to be anywhere in the near future because we have a cold snap coming that's going to be below 0 for a good week or so. Every single night it's going to drop down below 0, so that's without the wind chill. So, well, let's go over there and get to work and get these guys moved. Come on, girls. Now we got it ready to go. Calling them over here. Have them holding a little hay here. Maybe they'll come. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on, Z. Come on, girls. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, 6 inches of snow last night. That's getting kind of hairy to get out here with that old pickup up there, that's for sure. And then I cut the catalytic converters off of it so she sounds real nice and mean. But we'll get these guys up here. Well, first bale of the season for these guys. Hopefully they enjoy it. Looks like they are. Yeah, these are the wrapped bales here, and yeah, they're starting to spoil along the bottom edge for some reason. I don't know what the deal is with that, but figured it'd be a good idea to feed them up. We still have, probably another 5 acres of untouched stockpile left. And then we have a bunch of stockpile from the beginning of the season that they were going over, that they were not eating a lot of the fescue and the stalks out of much, so we'll be able to hit that later on after we catch up with the mold on that line wrapped bales. Hopefully we find the end of it. I think we did. Took out 16 bales here and set them out, so that'll last them a long time. Should work out pretty good. But some of these girls here are going to be calving at the end of the month here, so I'll have to haul them over to the other farm and get them to a barn. That's the problem with calving when you're not supposed to, not in sync with nature, that's for sure. My other group of cows is going to calve in May and June, so that's probably what I'll turn these guys into next year, hopefully. So, but with that, I'm going to shut her down and put up the fence there behind them, and they're allowed access to all of this all the way around these bales down along the edge of the woods, so they'll have plenty of cover. And right over that way there's a nice pocket too that they can get out of the wind and have some nice bedding area and stuff. So, but they stay super nice and clean this way. The only problem is they get a lot of burdock on them, as you can see. But other than that, they're nice and slick and clean. That's what you want. So, Jordan Meyer from Olson Family Farms. Everyone have a good one.